in our movie, instead of actually flying right at that moment, she's actually gonna fall first. I think that's such a big part of Defying Gravity, that it doesn't just go with the song, that she just then starts to sing and fly. She thinks she's ready. She makes a choice, she goes, and then she falls, and we fall with her. Who am I doing this for? Am I ready for this? This is way more difficult than I thought.
At first, I didn't know how much I could make it my own. I was very okay with being as Bible as possible. But when I got there, both Stephen Aramis and Stephen Schwartz, let me sing. They were like, make it your own. Do whatever you want to do with that.
Someone told me that everyone deserves a chance to fly.
There's just something really thrilling about hearing our version now, and that being sort of like cemented for me when I've been singing the other version, Adina's version, for years. And to know that the connection is there is really special. Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without being woken up every day by the imagination and the work and the craftsmanship of everybody who showed up every day. To make it all real, that is something that the audience will feel. We knew that we wanted Oz to be immersive.
What is the fantastical place of Oz? Like, how do you convince an audience that it's real and familiar? We had to build 3 giant backlots, and they were bigger than any sets I've ever built. And I've built a lot of really big sets.
Actually building Munchkin Land, where the yellow brick road is. We have planted 9 million tulips, as if it's sort of embedded in this amazing giant rainbow.
Glinda's fashion story is so much fun. For the first bubble dress, we thought we should go pink. I wish you could touch these clothes. There's just all of this pink and fluff. I nearly had a heart attack. Everything was so thoughtful.
How many layers of things is it?
15 cones.
15 what?
15 of these.
Cones.
Yeah.
Cute.
For Glinda, it's much more about curves and softness and femininity. There's a lot of pink. They're kind of rainbow tones. Its iridescence is a part of her sensibility.
Glinda's makeup kind of made me transform my entire look. There's no like thick eyeliner. It's just like really warm and open. And that one wig, Mark Platt was like, that's Glinda. There she is.
And turn. And cut.
Cut that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap.
I can't believe we actually made it here. We've been working really hard for the past many, many months, and for some of us years, some of us decades. And now, when I think back how it all started, it's actually unbelievable, the journey. Every single person, from every crew member, everyone cares about these characters.
There are so many sensations happening at once.
So exciting and beautiful, and I'm so happy.
This was destiny. We get to do Wicked.
That is Shiz University, and it's the most out-of-this-world set I've ever seen in my entire life. It's incredible.
There's parts of the set that I've never even seen because it's that big. And to be able to explore the whole set, you kind of need... They need to do guided tours. For me, mainly. I'd pay.
I mean, it looks like we're either in the south of France or Venice or somewhere, and it's absolutely incredible. The set is crazy and epic. There are boats with water. There is a river here. that did not exist before we built this place.
As a fan of the show, I wanted to make sure I arrived at Shiz on the suitcases. So even though a few people from the stunts team did not want me to climb up, I was like, I have to do it, at least for one take. And I jumped up on the suitcases because it's just such an important piece of Glinda that I think the fans really would have missed. I would have missed. I'm like the fangirl in the room, quietly gatekeeping in the corner.
All right.
Ariana Grande was publicly out there saying she always wanted this role.
I had been chasing Mark Platt down for about 10 years, wondering when this movie was going to happen, when I would have the opportunity to audition.
So in my head, I was like, we're never giving this to Ariana Grande. That just feels, that'll take over the movie, and it's about Ariana Grande.
As soon as I heard that maybe in a few months they might start seeing people, I was like, great, now's the time I'm starting.
Every time she came in, she was an Ari that I'd never seen before. And every time she left, she was the most interesting person.
I was like, what underwear would Glinda wear today? I had like a little portion of my closet that was all just little pink tops and stuff, just in case. My first audition, I sang No One Mourns the Wicked, Popular, and Defying Gravity and The Wizard and I. Weirdly, strangely, I sang for both. I don't know why. I think we all kind of knew why I was going in, and it was for Glinda. I love Elphaba, but you know.
Okay, let's just look at everybody, and we saw them all, and they were all fantastic. They were great. I was like, all right, let me just meet Cynthia.
He's like kindred spirits, you know?
She just had a vibe that felt like a friend. I was talking to a friend. She didn't act like she was bigger than the show. She didn't act like she was a fan of the show. And more than that, she was a fan of a story about an outsider.
Had long conversations about it and thoughtful conversations about what it could be. And then I got the call to come in and do a camera test with 2 other actresses. It's 3 hours of singing and rehearsing and speeches and scenes, and I feel really, really like alive, but I know I've poured everything into it.
I looked to Mark, and we were like, of course, it's Cynthia.
Was it weird getting into all these songs for this today?
Less weird, more full circle.
And then she sang Defying Gravity. Blew the roof off. We were just stunned. As soon as she left the room, we're like, that's her. That's Elphaba. She was so raw and vulnerable. And I couldn't get her out of my head.
Good morning.
We auditioned a lot of people for these roles. We saw everybody. I can't list all the people, but we saw everybody, and there was no free pass. We said, if you want to come in, you have to come in and audition. If you don't cast that right, we got nothing.
In my first introduction with Wicked, I remember viscerally, and it was an introduction to the music. And I just remember being like, what the hell is this sound? Fiero essentially is what like the female part to all male-dominated action films of like the 80s and 90s have been. Because it's so important with Fiero that he dances with abandon. I've really quite enjoyed supporting Cynthia and Ari.
To have him as the person between these 2 witches is like very exciting.
Will you please be our Fiero?
Let's dance, I'm ready.
Let's dance.
If I'd have been told 10 years ago that I'd be playing Fiero, I would not have believed anyone, but my heart would have popped.
The first time I saw Cynthia all green, I sobbed, of course. It was just so beautiful. I remember seeing the freckles and immediately just bawling my eyes out.
And then I was like, okay, roll, roll, roll. And she settled in this calmness that didn't feel like it was makeup anymore. It felt like it was her.
For some reason, having all that green on has made me appreciate what I look like even more, and all of the differences that I might take for granted. The hat and broom are her emblem. I didn't want it to just be a broom. So we looked at different roots, we looked at different trees, and I knew that at the top of the broom, I wanted it to look like a hand, but I also wanted something to feel kind of out of this world. So when she finally gets it, it feels like a powerful moment.
The hat that she's gifted by Glinda, she actually gives it to Elphaba as a joke. Elphaba finds power in the joke of it, but then she also identifies with it. The hat needed to feel as alive as the energy that Elphaba gets from it.